Good morning, everybody, and welcome to SAAO on this very beautiful but very windy morning. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our very special guest today, Minister of Science and Technology, Lady Pandor. Together with, we have Director General of DST, Phil Dwyer, the President of the National Research Foundation of Yarsville, a number of deputies, Deputy DG, and many other senior dignitaries from our nearby universities and from overseas. And in addition, I'm delighted to be able to welcome the President of the IAU, Bob Williams, and his Secretary General, Ian Corbett. So welcome to all our colleagues and friends, particularly those who've been able to stay on from this conference that we've had this week in Cape Town, the Mirren. Now, in fact, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to tell the Minister about this Mirren conference, where we had almost 180 astronomers from around Africa and the Middle East, and it has gone extremely well, and it's a great opportunity to thank DST and the NRF and the IAU and our SKA project partners for the financial assistance that they gave us and helped so many to be able to attend what everybody feels was a very successsul meeting. It was a very timely meeting, and this links into what is going on today with all the astronomy facility developments that have happened in Southern Africa in recent years. And it's particularly timely this week because we have actually been getting, we've got Salticam, the imaging camera, back on Salt, and the spectrograph on. Both are into commissioning, and this week Salticam has delivered sub-arc second images, which across the full field, which means that Dara O'Donoghue's team, which did the IQ repair and everything, that succeeded. And what's fantastic is we could see it can do even better as we are now into basically virgin territory, because we're taking SALT to a level way beyond its original prototype. So this is once again R&D, and it's great to have South Africa leading that. And of course, there's been the developments this year with CAT on the radio side. And so that's been great. And at this meeting, we had yesterday, Thursday evening, we had the launch of the African Astronomical Society. And that was celebrated on Thursday evening, and they had their first General Assembly yesterday morning. So a new society representing Africans is finally running, and I'm delighted that we have the first president of the African Astronomical Society, Pius Akiki, with us this morning as well. Now, we're here this morning for another launch. This is the new Office of Astronomy for Development. And this is the IAU, with support from the IAU, who really wanted to build on the success of the IYA, and you'll hear about that later on. They had a competition, an international competition, 20 proposals came in, and the SAAO one was selected as the winner. And that was built on the SALT Collateral Benefits Program, developments in education and outreach, which were led by Kevin Govender. And I was delighted that in the citation for our winning bid, South Africa was highlighted as leading the world in this kind of activity. That made me very proud of what we've achieved there, and I'm also very proud of what we've achieved with SALT. So this, for me, is a wonderful occasion of celebration, and I would now like to introduce our first Director of the Office of Astronomy for Development, Kevin Govender, to talk to you.
those that don't recognize me with the suits, I've also done another first in that I've written out my speech because I now need to be careful for what I say. I listed out the number of special important people here, but it would have taken up the entire speech, so I'll say the 3 famous words, all protocol observed. Thank you to everyone for coming. So, the International Astronomical Union Global Office of Astronomy for Development. It's a mouthful, but what does it mean? What does development mean to you? And what does astronomy have to do with any of this? Because we exist fundamentally at the center of our own observable universes, let us calibrate our perspectives from a human point of view. Every society, every culture, every group of human beings, no matter where they live, no matter what their skin color, no matter what their language, belief, traditions, they all have had and still have a few things in common. One of those things, in fact, one of the most fundamental things that they have in common is the drive to live a better life. First and foremost, we seek a better life for ourselves and our closest family, and then a better life for our community and the people around us, and then eventually a better life for all humankind. It is one of our most significant defining characteristics. We seek betterment, we seek improvement, we seek development. Whatever the complex psychology that has injected this insatiable pursuit into our veins, we can debate. But the fact is we want to make the world a better place. And this is what development means in this context. Making a better life for all human beings. Making the world a better place to live in. There is, of course, another thing that all these societies, cultures, groups of human beings have in common. That is, now wait for it, a deeply embedded connection with the sky. On the one hand, it's a fairly obvious statement. Everyone on Earth is subject to day and night. Everyone has to deal with the changing seasons. And everyone sees the moon go through cycles, not to mention big events like eclipses. But this connection goes much deeper into our combined consciousness. The changing nature of the sun and moon bring natural questions. Where does the sun go at night? What happens to the rest of the crescent moon? Why is the sun so low during winter months, high during summer months? And then there's the night sky, the amazing, awesome, incredible night sky. What are those things? Where do they go in the daytime? How far are they? Why do they move? Why do some move differently from others? What is out there? These questions lead to more questions, and even more questions. Questions not just about the stars, but about the blue sky, about rainbows, about lightning, about rain, about plants, about everything around us. And when we start trying to answer those questions, we become scientists. The sky and the stars have been an incredible catalyst of scientific thinking and reasoning. Such thinking, such science, has brought us technology and ideas that reach well beyond the dreams of our younger selves. Technology and ideas that have made our lives better, that have led to our development. Astronomy, as we call it today, has always played a part in our development, be it our scientific, technological, or cultural development. But maybe that has drifted somewhere along the line. But astronomy is an endless source of sustainable, renewable energy for our minds. The pursuit of this OAD is simple. It aims to use astronomy as a tool for global development. Remember that this is not simply about developing the field of astronomy. That comes as a byproduct, because you have to sharpen one's tools. But the main point is that astronomy is a tool for development. And that's why the name is very specifically the Office of Astronomy for Development, and not the not the Office for Astronomy Development. OAD. In recognition of the great strength of astronomy to expand our minds, the 3 targeted areas that the OAD will focus on are school level education, university level and research, and the third is the public understanding of science. Now there's no way that one small office could achieve the global development dreams we have on its own. The structures that need to be established are regional nodes across the world. And when I say regions, this has to be a dynamic procedure of definition. I mean, the regions that one considers oneself in may be different from what we might think about. But there should also be sector task forces which will lead the efforts on the 3 target areas that I mentioned: schools, university, and public. All these people would initially, in all likelihood, be volunteers. There is so much goodwill amongst the international community, especially after a very successful International Year of Astronomy. So we feel very positive that there will be many volunteers all across the world. However, this office will coordinate and strategize such that these efforts can be optimized. Today, this office is being opened in this land, our Africa. It's truly an honor for our continent to host and lead this global development activity, which reaches out to every corner of the world. It's a greater honor for South Africa to have been country selected as the hosts. And it's the most humbling honor for me personally to have been selected to direct these activities and vision. Thank you to the IAU for trusting our continent, our country, our organization with this responsibility. Thank you to the South African Department of Science and Technology for their recognition of the importance of this subject and for their support. And thank you to the National Research Foundation for embarking on this project together with the IAU by hosting the OAD at its facility, the South African Astronomical Observatory, the site that we're on. I can assure you that the actions of this office shall be carried out with a spirit of transparency, inclusion, humility, and hard work for the benefit of all. This office is here for you to use in order to make your ideas happen in the most effective ways possible. So I call upon you, our colleagues present here and from all over the world, to put our minds together and to join hands in making the world a better place. And before I go, that's the end of my speech, but to be very frank with you, if you ask me, do I believe that something like astronomy, something so far out there, can make a difference in this world? The answer is yes, most definitely. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I've taken on this task. So join me, and I hope we can work together to make this happen.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I think you can all see why Kevin won what was a very intense competition to be the first director. And to have him be somebody who's a great friend and colleague is for me truly wonderful. Kevin referred to the vision of the IAU in supporting this, something inspired by the huge growth and interest in astronomy through the IYA. So I would now like to call upon the president of the IAU to say a few words to you from the point of view of the IAU. The president is Professor Bob Williams, who to the astronomers here needs absolutely no introduction. For those who are not astronomers, Bob is the former director of the Hubble Telescope, the Space Telescope Science Institute. And he is the man who was responsible for the project in the 1990s to undertake this continuous ultra-deep exposure, which became known as the Hubble Deep Field, and which in many respects revolutionized our knowledge and understanding of how galaxies evolve. It was a brilliant decision to devote literally hundreds of HST orbits to this, and this has become famous throughout astronomy. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Bob Williams to you.